Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to uncover the incredible story of how a single layer of cells, formed in the very first weeks of development, actually builds so much of our internal world.
I mean, have you ever stopped to think about it? Where do your bones, your muscles, and even your heart actually come from? Well, it turns out that all of these incredibly different structures share a common origin, a single source code written in the earliest moments of life.
And that source is our master builder for today. Meet the mesoderm. It's the embryonic middle layer, and it's responsible for this just astonishing diversity of tissues that form the very core of our bodies.
But, before the mesoderm can start building anything, it first has to exist, right? And it emerges from this really crucial transformation that takes a simple, two-layer embryo and turns it into a complex three-layer one.
Okay, so let's break this down. Around week 3 of development, the embryo is really just a simple two-layered disc. You've got the epiblast on top and a hypoblast on the bottom. Then, this process called gastrulation kicks off. A little groove called the primitive streak forms on the top layer. And you can think of this like a gateway, letting cells dive inwards to form a brand new middle layer. That's our mesoderm. And just like that, you have the 3 foundational layers of the body.
So once it's formed, this single sheet of mesoderm doesn't just sit there. No way. It doesn't stay uniform for long. It's time for specialization.
And what's really fascinating is how it gets organized. A little rod-like structure called the notochord forms right down the middle. It's basically the embryo's very first backbone. And it acts like a project foreman, sending out all these chemical signals that tell the mesoderm around it, okay, time to differentiate. You have a job to do.
And in response to those signals, the mesoderm organizes itself into 3 different regions. You can really think of them as 3 separate construction crews. So closest to the middle, you have the paraxial mesoderm. Right next to that is the intermediate mesoderm, and then the one farthest out is the lateral plate mesoderm. And each of these crews has a totally unique set of projects to work on.
All right, first up is the framework crew. This is the one responsible for building the core structure of the entire body.
So this section, the one closest to the middle, it first segments into these repeating blocks called somites. Seriously, think of them just like Lego bricks. These bricks then specialize into the 3 groups you see here. The sclerotome, well, that forms our bony axis, our vertebrae, and our ribs. Then the myotome builds all of our skeletal muscles for our trunk, back, and limbs. And finally, the dermatome creates the deep, tough layer of our skin, the dermis. This is literally the blueprint for our body's entire chassis.
Okay, next up, let's look at the crew that handles some of the body's most vital internal plumbing and, our reproductive systems. This is the intermediate mesoderm.
And just like its name suggests, this middle crew gets a very specific, very important job, building the urogenital system. This is where our entire renal system, so the kidneys and ureters, come from. And it's also the origin of the gonads, both the testes and ovaries, along with all the little ductal systems that go with them. A very focused, but absolutely critical job.
And now for our final and probably most expansive crew. This one handles, well, everything, from the lining of our body cavities all the way to creating the entire circulatory system.
Now this lateralmost mesoderm is really unique because it actually splits into 2 separate sheets. You've got the somatic layer, which hangs out with the outer body wall and lines our internal cavities. You can think of it like wallpaper. Then there's the splanchnic layer, which covers our internal organs directly, almost like shrink wrap. And this split is what creates the actual space for our major body cavities, like where our heart and lungs sit.
And let me tell you, this splanchnic layer is an absolute powerhouse. It doesn't just cover organs, it builds them. It forms the entire cardiovascular system, the heart, all the blood vessels, plus the spleen, the adrenal cortex, and, get this, the actual stem cells in our bone marrow that produce all of our blood. It's just wild that one layer of cells is responsible for all of that, isn't it?
Whew, okay, that was a lot to cover, right? So let's try to pull it all together with a really brilliant mnemonic that kind of captures the mesoderm's huge portfolio.
To remember this incredible range, just think of the phrase mesodermal cells. Each letter stands for a key derivative, from the myeloid stem cells for M and the cardiovascular system for C, all the way to the renal system for R and the linings of your body cavities for L. It's a fantastic way to grasp just how fundamental this one layer truly is. Go on, take a second to look it over.
And that, right there, is the whole point.
From a single, simple middle layer, an entire internal world unfolds with just breathtaking precision. It's a powerful reminder that within the earliest moments of development lies the complex, interconnected architecture that makes every single one of us who we are.